Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh, RSS is generally viewed through a political prism, while it should be understood with a civilizational prism. And what can be a better occasion to get an insight into the collective, democratic and symbiotic functioning of this patriotic organization than its annual national meet called the Akhil Bharatiya Pratinidhi Sabha. The ABPS is popularly called of RSS will take place from 21st to 23rd March in Bengaluru in the Janseva Vidya Kendra of the outskirts of Bangalore. The 3-day meeting would discuss the larger process of Karyakarta Nirman and training, which is a core of RSS Shiksha Varg, that is annual camps. The meeting would also discuss the current situation in the country and the past important resolutions on the contemporary issues. Besides RSS Sarsangh Chalak Mohanji Bhagwat and Sarkaryava Dattatreya Hosbale, all the important functionaries of RSS would participate in this meeting. Besides that, there will be all important organizational representatives will also be part of it. So there will be around 1,500 directly or indirectly elected representatives will be part of this all India level national council of RSS. The ABPS will firm up programs and policies for the year 2025-26 based on the overview and experiences of year 24-25. As the Sangha will complete 100 years of its formation on this Vijayadashmi, chalking out strategy for RSS centenary year expansion work will naturally be an important reference point. Better understanding of the RSS and its functioning, we need to understand what the ABPS is, what is the constitution of this council, and what are the scheme of things in this voluntary organization. So, who are the representatives of who actually participate in the ABPS? If we literally translate Akhil Bharatiya Pratinidhi Sabha, it can be loosely translated as All India Representative Council. It is the highest decision-making body of world's largest voluntary organization called Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh. Since 1950, barring the emergency period, the annual meeting of the called Pratinidhi Sabha has been taking place regularly every year. In March 1950, the first ABPS meeting was held at Nagpur and Shri Bhaiyaji Dani was elected as Sarkaryava, that is General Secretary. In the same meeting, the idea to constitute the Vastuhara Sahayata Samiti, a committee to help out Hindu refugees from East and West Pakistan, was deliberated upon and approved. Entire relief operations for flood-affected Assam of 1949-50 were also finalized in this meeting. Sangha Swayamsevak swung into action after this Pratinidhi Sabha and made their remarkable contribution through selfless and meticulous relief and rehabilitation activities. So, the planning and discussion that had taken place in the Pratinidhi Sabha has been always instrumental in the execution of all the initiatives that take place by the nationalist volunteers of RSS. We have seen this during the corona pandemic crisis also. The Sabha was organized online in 2020 and in hybrid mode in 2021. And as per the Article 15 of the RSS Constitution, the ABPS is elected by the Prantiya Pratinidhi Sabhas, that is the elected representatives of the regional bodies. So, we need to understand the democratic nature of this body. One, it gives a functional directives to the volunteers working on the ground through a collective decision making. Secondly, it is an elected body of the regional bodies. So, the elected members of the Prantiya Sabha, and I quote, the elected members of a Prantiya Pratinidhi Sabha elect from among themselves 1/8 of their number as representatives of the province on the ABPS. So this Article 15 of Constitution of RSS is very, very important. The Prantiya Sabhas, on the other hand, are elected by Swayamsevaks right from the Shakha level, that is the lowest functional unit of RSS, with an average of one representative behind 50 active Swayamsevaks. The Swayamsevaks who have undergone some training, the Swayamsevaks who have taken oath to work their lifetime as RSS volunteer for the motherland, they actually become the sort of voters, and they send their, behind every 50 Swayamsevak, one representative is sent to the Prantiya Sabha, and 1/8 of those members actually come to the national level. These elected members at the provincial level further elect 1/8 numbers of delegates for the national level representation. Besides these elected number of representatives called delegates, Sanghachalaks, that is the presidents of the units, Pracharaks, full-timers of each divisions, provinces, provincial centers, and the Kshetra, Pranta and Vibhag. For the functional purpose, we need to understand this, that RSS work is divided into 11 zones. So there is a south zone, there is a south central zone, there is a western zone, there is a eastern zone, there is a central Bharat zone, there is Uttar Pradesh as one zone, similarly up to northern part. So we cannot think this just from a political state point of view in the present thing. For RSS functional unit, there are 11 zones and 45 provinces called prants. For instance, the political state of Uttar Pradesh is divided in more than 6 provinces, while states like West Bengal and Gujarat are divided in 3 or 2 functional units each. So depending on the number of shakhas, the prant has been carved out. Now remember, all members of the Akhil Bharatiya Karyakari Mandal, that is All India Executive Committee, comprising of national and zonal level office bearers and invited members, are de facto members of the Pratinidhi Sabha as per the constitution. The Sarakaryava, General Secretary, who is the elected executive authority of the organization, actually is the functional linchpin of this Akhil Bharatiya Pratinidhi Sabha. Generally, the election for Sarkaryava takes place every 3rd year, mostly in the Pratinidhi Sabha that takes place at Nagpur. The detailed voters list is prepared as per the local level elections and Prantiya Sabha elections. Generally, this Pratinidhi Sabha takes place in the historic Reshim Bagh premises, where the Smriti Mandir, the memorial of RSS founder Dr. Hedgewar is. And there generally the new Sarkaryava is elected. This year, because the 3 years of this term of the present Sarkaryava is not completed, so this is not an election year. The Sarasangachalak, who is considered as the guide and philosopher of the RSS, is consulted in all the proceedings, but it is the Sarkaryava who actually handles entire operation. The Sarkaryava can also invite members from various RSS-inspired organizations working for the process of national reconstruction, and that house total number reaches up to 1500. Now, these invitees can deliberate and participate in the discussion. These specially invited representatives, but they do not have voting rights in the election process whenever there is some election year. But their role in and their inputs are very important when it comes to the deliberation process. So this is how representatives, generally presidents and organizing secretaries of the RSS-inspired organizations, media generally talk about larger organizations and political organizations like BJP, but Rashtriya Swayamsevak Samiti, that is the women's organization working on the similar lines, or Bharatiya Mazdoor Sangh, or Sanskar Bharati, Sahakar Bharati, Seema Jagran Manch, organization working for Divyangs like Saksham, they also participate in this meeting. They make their own representation. They make, present their annual reports. The entire national level leadership of Sevika Samiti, that is the women's activities, they are present in the meeting. Other organizations also send their women representatives in the ABPS. So people generally ask, oh, why there is, when it comes to the decision making process, the shakhas function differently, but day-to-day functioning, whether regular meetings, men and women both work together for the larger society, and similarly in the highest decision making body also, women automatically get their representation through various representative organizations inspired by RSS, and also through Rashtriya Swayamsevak Samiti. Sarkaryava is the elected head, and these delegates every 3 years elect him, elect the person for the post of Sarkaryava. So as per the RSS constitution, the Pratinidhi Sabha has to meet, remember, once in a year to review the annual activities of the organization. So it is very, very democratic process, contrary to the popular perception about RSS. Besides the Pratinidhi Sabha, the highest level decision making body of the world's largest voluntary organization, other important meetings also take place throughout the year, called Akhil Bharatiya Pratinidhi Mandal, that is the executive council meet, which meets generally twice, once in October, November around Diwali time, and just before Pratinidhi Sabha at the same venue to decide the agenda of Pratinidhi Sabha. Then there is a Prant Pracharak Baithak, meeting of full-timers that take place. Generally it takes place somewhere in June and July. Besides that, all India level coordination meeting also takes place. Last year it took place in Kerala, place called Palakkad. Generally it happens somewhere in September, just before the Karyakari Mandal during Deepavali. So the point is, contrary to the perception and narration by the critics, the RSS is a functioning, democratic, participatory and collective organization. Now, obviously the question would be, what does Pratinidhi Sabha do? After the formal inauguration with the prayer in front of the statue or the portrait of Bharat Mata, the ceremony that is generally covered by media, Sangatan Mantra, the famous shlokas from Rigveda, the 3 stanzas that talk about the collectiveness, the collective, Sangachatvam Samvadadvam. So collectively we work together, think together, act together. These 3 shlokas generally invoked before each RSS meeting and constitute a resolve to speak out independently, as per our experiences, with a clear conscience, but to reach out to a collective decisions. And once the decisions are made, they are organizational decisions. So the minutes of last year's Pratinidhi Sabha are also very important exercise, because they are read out in the meeting after the Sangatan Mantra, and for the approval of delegates, this last year's minutes of the meetings get approved. Certain amendments are there, then they are incorporated. The Sarkaryava reads out his annual report. Now, this is very, very important. In fact, it is released to the media, but media many a times, do not try to read between the lines about this report. This annual report highlights the important activities, outreach programs, and impact initiatives for social transformation undertaken by the organization throughout the year. So, besides paying, tribute to the deceased personalities from different walks of national life, also the RSS functionaries, it also talks about the special initiatives to strengthen the organizational structure, spreading the Shakha level work and activities. But besides that, how far RSS thought has reached and percolated to the society, so that the society takes the initiative to to address the local problems. That is also assessed in this report. So various zones and provinces, the travels of Sarasanga Chalak and Sarkareva, everything is covered in this annual report. Now, after this annual report presentation, generally discussion takes place on each of the presentation so that the success stories can be replicated in other regions. So, special initiatives of various regions or zones, generally one from each zone, make their own presentation. Vishesh prayog or special initiatives, special experiments that are being discussed and presented. Other social initiatives and experiments for various areas like rural development, that is Gram Vikas, Samrasta to eradicate the caste-based discrimination, healthcare and education are also discussed by the delegates. Now, their typical RSS related functioning comes into work, the coordination. RSS shakhas, help out in giving out people, train the people, but it is the other organizations who take up education and health related work, and there the symbiotic relationship is kept from local level up to the all India level. So overall review of the organizational status, spread of shakhas, that is the daily get together of Swayamsevaks, Saptahik Milan, that is the weekly congregation, or Sangha Mandali, that is the monthly get together of Swayamsevaks. All these are discussed. Besides that, the organization's regular activities and the training programs, that is primarily of 3 days and 7 days, or what is now called as the Karyakarta Prashikshan Varga, that is earlier used to be called as the first year, second year, third year OTC. All these are reviewed by the Pratinidhi Sabha. The next year's planning is also done. Each of the Karya Vibhag, Sangha functioning is divided into 6 broad functional departments which are presented in annual reports also. The initiatives taken by, say, Sharirik Vibhag, that is the activities related, physical activities of RSS, the Bauddhik Vibhag, the intellectual activities, the Seva Vibhag, the service related activities, Sampark Vibhag, that is the public outreach, and Prachar Vibhag. These are the main verticals around which representatives share their views, experiences. So annual reports are presented and simultaneously the discussion takes place. The impact of shakhas and training process is also assessed by various inspired organizations started by Swayamsevaks in various fields. So as of now, there are 35 all India level national organizations inspired by the RSS, as I mentioned, BMS or Sanskar Bharati or Seva Bharati or Sehkar Bharati. Each of these organizations present their annual reports to the representative council. So Sangha and other organizations, tune up their activities for the coming year. Besides, they present their report about their spread and impact. So the original idea that Swayamsevaks will do everything, Sangha will actually train Swayamsevaks. So what those Swayamsevaks are doing in the society, with the society, for the society, this participatory aspect is deliberated upon. So it clearly gives a picture where the Sangha Shakha work has gone in last year or so, where it is planning to go in the next year, and how other organizations are taking benefit of it, complement the process of organizing the entire society for national reconstruction. So it is a symbiotic process that we can see in the Pratinidhi Sabha. Now, some of the common themes on or issues are also picked up these organizations. Their collective impact is also analyzed. Various programs or research or other participatory activities throughout the year, and their collective impact is also discussed in every year's Pratinidhi Sabha. Another important aspect, all organizations that work independently with their own constitution and decision-making framework discuss and share common issues of national importance and collaboration. So BMS functions independently, Swadeshi Jagran Manch works independently, Sahakar Bharati works independently, but all of them work on economic issues. So somewhere they have to come together and collaborate and understand the scenario on economic front. So they do not take orders from RSS with taking inspiration from the RSS point of view of seeing the things in the national interest. They actually deliberate and reach to certain decision. Prastav or resolution is another important aspect of every Pratinidhi Sabha. RSS passes resolutions based on the discussions that take place within the Karyakari Mandal, and some of the issues that come up before the Pratinidhi Sabha. Resolutions are drafted by a committee on the contemporary important issues. Like for example, previously there have been resolutions on say Rama Janmabhoomi temple or Jammu Kashmir or special initiatives in Northeast. This year it is expected that about the status of Hindus in Bangladesh or atrocities against Hindus outside Bharat, that also will be discussed. But generally they come with a lot of deliberation, and then it gets the form of resolutions. So a committee constituted to draft the resolution based on the approvals coming from the Karyakari Mandal, that is the executive committee, they become a very important dimension of annual Pratinidhi Sabha to present the RSS point of view on various contemporary issues. That is a very, very important aspect. Now, getting a resolution passed in Pratinidhi Sabha is not a very easy task, as many people generally believe sitting outside. Each and every word or line is discussed and debated by the delegates. Constructive suggestions are made. They even debate the impact of such resolution. The drafting committee has to make necessary changes. Only after the consensus is built, the resolution is passed, generally unanimously. Certain amendments can be put forth for voting, but eventually the consensus is built up. If there is no consensus, then there are instances where the resolutions are either put on hold or back burner. So this is the way Akhil Bharatiya Pratinidhi Sabha has functioned over the years. If you go by history, social reforms and national integration are two important aspects that RSS Pratinidhi Sabha have focused on every year. As one of the important authors and scholars who have done his PhD on RSS, Dr. Ratan Sharda, in his doctoral research, he has worked on RSS resolution. In one of the articles written in Organiser, he said, RSS has, and I quote, RSS has consistently followed a reformist agenda, but not aggressive and hard push. It criticized the caste system. Its influence resulted in Hindu saints and the seers passing a resolution in Vishwa Hindu Parishad in 1966 declaring that no Hindu is fallen and all Hindus are children of the same mother and thus brothers. Na Hindu patito bhavet Hindavaha sodaraha sarve. When organizing the entire society, taking inspiration from the civilizational ethos, Sanskriti, striving to take the nation to the pinnacle of the glory is the objective. Consistent churning on the social situation and coming up with collective solution is inevitable. So what RSS actually does, as again Ratan Sharda has observed, to promote unity and harmony within Dharma fold, the RSS has promoted the celebration of national icons like Dr. Ambedkar or Shri Narayana Guru or Guru Govind Singh Ji or Bhagwan Mahavir, Bhagwan Buddha, the anniversaries of Krishna Devaraya or Rabindranath Thakur, or recently we have seen this year it is expected that Rani Abakka will be one important discussion point. Ahilyabai Holkar was a very important discussion point for RSS last year. So the real Indian icons are discussed. Even the regions of Jammu Kashmir, Northeast, Punjab, always got prominence in various RSS resolution time and again to raise awareness across the nation. Please try and understand, RSS always thinks that the problem of Northeast, or say this year say Manipur, is not problem of Manipur, it is a problem of entire Bharat. So entire Bharat should be aware of all the dimensions and contribute in resolving that problem. So it is basically about this resolution raise awareness across the nation, propose a possible amicable solution in a reconciliatory way, the way RSS has consistently raised as in various resolutions. There are more than 270 resolutions passed in RSS Pratinidhi Sabhas. And most of them were not just religious in nature, most of them are cultural and based on national interests and contemporary challenges. Now, naturally, these resolutions passed by Pratinidhi Sabha are the most important historical documents, not just to understand the thinking process, the thought process of the largest voluntary organization called RSS, but also overview the issues of national importance faced by Bharat since independence. So this history of independent Bharat and history of Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh cannot be separated from each other. They are interwoven, and resolutions passed by RSS is a reflection on the same. Besides this, the Sarkaryava can also issue a statement on various issues, commemorating some important events of history, or giving a call to the society and Swayamsevaks to participate in certain activity. Last year it was about the Panchaparivartan, the 5 important programs that RSS has proposed as a centenary year program. Again, it is represented, they are presented to the delegates before making it public. So, Sarkaryava doesn't take arbitrary autocratic decisions and make a statement. It is discussed and deliberated, and then it is made to the public. Conventionally, based on the deliberations and annual reports that are presented, Sarasangachalak makes his concluding remarks, which is considered as a pathaya or the inspirational message or takeaway for all the delegates and the entire organization for the coming year. And that is how ABPS is generally concluded. So, the Akhil Bharatiya Pratinidhi Sabha of RSS is an important, not just because some Swayamsevaks are in power position or general elections or some state elections are due. It is a democratic exercise evolved over a period of time, taking inspiration from the ancient idea of Sabha and Samiti, that is the council and the committee in Indian democratic system. Most of the elections and deliberations are made consensually, though heated discussions takes place, deliberations takes place, different point of views are expressed, but RSS has evolved a mechanism to reach to the consensus. Along with the growing strength of the organization, the social, economic, cultural and political issues of national importance get due diligence with a civilizational perspective and participatory approach. Societal solutions are also discussed and strategies worked out upon to involve various social groups to address these issues. Future challenges to the society and organization are also assessed in the ABPS. If one has to find answers to questions like why is RSS flourishing as an organization for 100 years without any split, consistently working and growing despite attempts to crush the organization, how it could create so much influence in national life with a strong national reformist agenda for the society. One has to grasp the institutional mechanism like Akhil Bharatiya Pratinidhi Sabha that the RSS has evolved, taking inspiration from the civilizational wisdom. Self-supporting organization, interestingly, because all the delegates reach to the ABPS not by filling